Most visitors come to Rome thinking that St. Peter's Basilica is the heart of the papacy, and that's where the popes have always lived and preached. And honestly, who could blame them? It's iconic. But there is a twist. The real story begins at a different church, one that's just as grand but often overlooked. Welcome to the Basilica of St. John Lateran. To understand how important this basilica is in the Christian history, consider this. It was commissioned by the Emperor Constantine himself. Do you remember him? The Roman emperor who legalized Christianity? Well, he donated the land and building to the Pope, making this the first official Catholic church and the Pope's original residence. So, if you truly want to dive into the roots of Christianity, this is the place to be. Now, what's inside that makes this basilica even more inspiring? The first thing that struck me is right at the entrance, the massive bronze doors. These aren't just any doors. They once belonged to the ancient Roman Senate house in the Forum. That means that some of the most legendary figures in Roman histories, like Marcus Aurelius and other emperors, literally walked through them. Talk about stepping into history. As you walk in, your eyes are immediately drawn upwards to the glowing golden ceiling. Beautifully decorated and rich with symbolism, it will make you feel even more immersed in the spiritual atmosphere all around you. As you move forward, you'll pass between towering statues, 6 on each side of the central aisle. These are the 12 apostles, each one sculpted with such drama and details that they feel almost alive. But what truly takes your breath away is the baldachin above the papal altar. It is not just an elegant Gothic canopy. It holds relics believed to be the heads of St. Peter and St. Paul. Yes, really, this is truly sacred ground. And just below the altar, in the crypt, you'll find a statue marking the resting place of none other than St. John the Baptist. Lastly, take your time exploring every corner of the basilica. Art, history, and spirituality come together in a way that will leave you inspired and maybe even a little breathless. Now, as we step outside the basilica, there is something just across the street that I want to point out. But before I do, there is something you should know. Helena, the mother of Emperor Constantine, became a deeply devoted Christian and used her influence to support and promote the faith. After her pilgrimage to the Holy Land, she brought back several important relics associated with Jesus, including a set of marble steps believed to have been part of Pontius Pilate's palace in Jerusalem. According to tradition, these are the very steps Jesus ascended on the day of his trial. Now, today you can see these holy stairs, or Scala Sancta, just across the street from the basilica. But be aware that the only way you're allowed to ascend them is on your knees, as an act of reverence. Next up, just a short stroll from the Scala Sancta is a hidden gem, especially for American visitors, the Basilica of St. Clemente, or as local affectionately call it, the Lasagna Romana. Why the nickname? Because this place is literally layered like a Roman lasagna, with 3 full stories of history stacked right on top of each other. So, what I'm talking about is a 12th century basilica built over a 4th century church, which itself was built over a 1st century Roman house and Mitraic temple. It's like walking through a time machine that will take you down through 2,000 years of Roman history, one stair at a time. We start at the top layer with the 12th century basilica. This is what you walk into from the street, and wow, it is stunning. Beautiful golden mosaics sparkling above the altar and ancient frescoes. Head downstairs and boom, you are in the 4th century church. This one's darker, quieter, and full of faded frescoes that tell early Christian stories. But what I personally enjoyed the most was going down to the bottom level, stepping into ancient Rome, like 1st century Rome. Here you'll see the remain of a Roman house with a nearby old aqueduct, still trickling water, and something really spectacular that's worth telling a story about it. You'll see a pagan Mitraic temple, complete with altar. Now, if you are intrigued by spiritual secret societies, you love this one. A Mitraic temple, or Mitraeum, was a place of worship for followers of Mitraism, a secretive all-male mystery religion that was popular among Roman soldiers and merchants from the 1st to the 4th century AD. Basically, it operated long before Christianity took hold. Now, to picture a Mitreum where people gather to do rituals and perform initiation ceremony, think of this. It's dark, torch-lit, and it is built to feel like a cave. And that's not just to create a perfect atmosphere, but because in their mythology, the god Mithras did his big heroic deeds inside a cosmic cave. So they were kind of recreating the sacred space. The main symbol for this secretive cult was represented by the figure of Mithras slaying a bull. This did not represent death or cruelty, rather it symbolized life, rebirth, and the order of the universe. Now, these were very small, tight-knit groups of men who supported each other in secrecy and ritual. And it's important to know that they did not turn to Mithras to ask for favors like, please help my crops or bless my family, like in traditional Roman religion. They turned to Mithras for inner strength, discipline, and moral purity. It was like training the soul the way you train the body. Again, this wasn't your average Roman temple. It was invite only, members only, and what happened in the cave? Well, they stayed in the cave.